And we are live. Hello, everybody, once again. My name is Sanket Shikhar, and I welcome you all into today's masterclass, which will be focusing on all the blockchain and cryptocurrency enthusiasts. And the topic for today's webinar is blockchain and Bitcoin fundamentals. Now, this webinar has been brought to you in context to the new revelations, the new processes, the new projects that are being built into the world of metaverse and web 3.0 and a lot of more stuff. And in today's webinar, we are going to go ahead and help all our participants understand what blockchain actually is, and we are going to answer a lot of questions and myths surrounding the same. In order to go ahead and deliver today's session, I am honored to have with me Chirag Rajput. Now, Chirag is an engineering graduate and has been working on blockchain and hyperledger and other stuff for a very long time. He is a developer by trade and understands blockchain from in and out. So without further ado, I'm not going to waste a lot of time. Let me pass on the mic to Chirag so that he can go ahead and take you into this beautiful world. Chirag, the mic is all yours.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Sanket. Thank you so much for this warm introduction. Okay, guys, let's get the party started. Okay, I'm getting notifications. Yep, yep. Okay, cool. So, guys, I would like to start with how this blockchain came into the role, why we started a need of blockchain at the first point, right? So it all got started after like 2008 financial crisis, as we all know, right? So there was after that there was a massive trustless and nobody was secure or nobody was having a trust on the organization that what might have happened in the next few months, few years, like what will be the next future. So at that point in time, at that critical situation, the Satoshi Nakamoto, we all know that as the founder of Bitcoin, right? So he came up with a new idea of blockchain that revolutionized the world or that introduces the world to the blockchain, that is Bitcoin, right? So in 2009, Satoshi Nakamoto came into the game and introduces its white paper on Bitcoin. Okay, so that was the very first or the very impactful application of blockchain, right? So before talking about the application side, I would like to bring more. I would like to throw some light on what is blockchain, right? What uh, that blockchain exactly as an infrastructure, how that blockchain is working, right? So when we are talking about blockchain, it's a decentralized immutable database. This is the primary keyword that revolutionized this blockchain differently, right? So different uh, different databases are being evolved at that point in time, right? So uh, what different or what new features do blockchain provide, right? So number one thing I would like to like throw some light, that is trustless, right? Trustless environment that we want. Okay, so this idea of blockchain came into place when in 1991. I am not uh, pretty much sure, but it's around 1991 when there was a call a scientist. I am not able to remember the name exactly. So his idea was, how can I timestamp the digital documents? Cool, pretty cool is that. Like, how can I, like, we all do time stamping on our physical documents, right? This passport has an expiry date from this to this, it's printed on there, right? All the documents, all the hard copies, the things that we use in the physical world or the documentations that we use in physical world have a timestamp, right? So it was issued on this date and it's valid till this. So digitalizing that timestamp was the core idea of blockchain. Getting with me, guys? With me? Like, just give me a like a quick. Could you just respond with anything? Like, with me, everyone. Till now, can I get something? Any response? Yep. Do we have anything for the response? Like, mm, mm, mm. But yeah, okay. No worries on that side. So you getting the idea of blockchain, how that came into place. Digitalize, like time stamping the digital documents. Time stamping means we provide a timestamp for that particular digital document. Like at this point in time, this document was created, and how this document gonna move ahead in the chain. We will all be time stamping that, right? So that was the main idea of blockchain that came into existence. So now let's talk about some uh, topics, how what is blockchain and how does it work. So blockchain basically works on it has there's a name specifies it, right? Blocks and chains. We are connecting a block of data into a chain, right? It's connected as a block, and this block is connected to this block. This block is connected to this block via cryptographic function, like via we have hash function to connect this block to this one, right? So let's we will get deep dive into this webinar only. So we'll be talking about types of blockchains, right? So that types of blockchains are primarily it's divided into two categories, right? Public blockchains and private blockchains. Private blockchains are more used on the enterprise level. Enterprise, how the enterprises will be working with the in collaboration with the other enterprises and all the business logics that they could execute, and they don't want to make that public, right? So if I'm doing a transaction with say an XYZ organization and I don't want to disclose that amount, right? So if I have done say $500 million transaction within company X, and I don't want to disclose that, but I want to keep that secure, right? I want to timestamp that digital document. So that's where the blockchain came into the place. So a popular use case that we all know is cryptocurrencies. We have all heard a lot of things about cryptocurrencies. It's doing sometimes do really great, sometimes it's just having a bear market. And then we'll be talking about blockchain as a platform, how we can provide blockchain systems as a solution to the different problem statements. So like we can provide blockchain as a platform, so you can come on board users onto that platform and use blockchain technology very easily, right? And the last but not least, we'll be talking about the smart contracts. Smart contracts are the things that I think the right now most of the dApps are on Ethereum, right? So on Ethereum we write smart contracts. So that's a pretty major chunk on the development side, not on the I would not say that on the like not theoretical much. We will be talking about some real world smart contracts and how dApps are built on how what languages do we need to build smart contracts. Next, let's talk some theoretical things that we need to make it very clear how this definition of blockchain works. A blockchain is a constantly growing ledger and that keeps a permanent record of all the transactions that have taken places. Okay, let's before moving into this definition, I would like to make clear three terminologies first, right? So number one is I've defined blockchain as a three things. It's immutable, decentralized, ledger, right? So number one is immutable. Like what is immutable? I don't know. Like it's something like we cannot change it or we cannot hamper all those things. Or what is immutable basically? So immutable means yeah, that's the only exact definition of immutable. You cannot if we have someone from the computer science background, so we have studied that strings are immutable, right? Strings are immutable, they are passed in double quotes, so we cannot manipulate the string function, right? So that's the same keyword that we have used for the blockchains databases. Okay, let's I think got it. Yeah, sorry, I just got a notification, so I just got that back. Yeah. So immutable means if they're storing some data on this blockchain, or some transaction has been recorded on this blockchain, so that cannot be tampered, that cannot be changed, that cannot be uh, used on any malicious things. No, that's not possible in blockchain easily, right? So if I have given, say, like the previous example I was talking about, so I have given $500 million to same organization XYZ, and the next moment the organization claims or puts a court case that Chirag has not paid me $500 million for these services. I couldn't provide like all those proofs that I could provide can be hampered. Like if I provide banking statements and all those things that can be or uh, they can be done with some not that trustworthy. Like the point comes to the trust. Like, do you trust that transaction that much, right? So blockchain provides one thing. So if a transaction is stored on this blockchain, so I don't think nobody can challenge this. Okay, I don't think this transaction is has been done or it was revoked. Sometimes we get the notification, okay, this transaction has been done, but the other side has not received the yet, right? So we have all encountered these types of real-time problems that we have our the amount get deducted in our account, but it's not credited uh, in the others account, right? So that was some problems that we were facing in today's world. So blockchain came into the role and say, okay, let me do one thing. I will be having a decentralized thing, not a centralized architecture, right? What are the what structure now we are following is we have a bank. Say this is my hand is my bank. So I send a request to my bank. Hey bank, just send me just send $500 million to another organization that account is this one, right? So if I have a middleman in between the two transactions. So I am here, here is another organization, and I have this middleman, right? This middle organization is handling all the transactions that I am doing, right? So there is a point of failure. Like there is in technical terms, if I'm talking about, it's a point of failure. If this organization or this architecture of working, like it has some, it got it not don't perform to up to his expectations. So my transaction would have got delayed, or it might get revoked. Anything could be there. So removing this middleman, we are trying to connect these two directly. If I'm sending $500 to this organization, so I will be sending it directly, right? So it's decentralized. There is no centralized organization that is handling any transactions or any uh, like what would you say any power on the transactions, any limit on the transactions. So you and this organization are connected via a network of blockchain, right? So you will be directly transferring all the funds to this organization. No need of middlemen, right? And this network creates the transactions very fast, right? So there's no middleman. Then number one, what we can conclude from now till now, yes, it's immutable. Nobody can hamper the transaction because of blockchain. We will talk it in next few minutes how this is immutable. Next thing is decentralized, right? Decentralized. There's no middleman in between. I'm doing transactions directly with a peer. Like peer-to-peer network is also called in blockchain. We will use this term frequently in blockchain, like peer-to-peer networking, right? So one peer is communicating with another peer directly. Cool. So immutable, decentralized, and the other thing was ledger. Ledger. We all know, we have heard. There was a bookkeeping method, right? So what that bookkeeping method was, it used to maintain all the data entries. Like okay, if I own a shop and if I want to give some kind of loan to the other person, or if someone if I want to give like if I want to lend some money to someone, I will just bookmark it, right? I will just write it down that okay, I have lent say $100 to this person. And the problem with that bookkeeping is that that hard documentation, the documentation is like it has a particular lifespan, right? It might get destroyed, the page might get deteriorated, right? That ledger could be hampered, like someone come and just deleted that transaction, like it's done. So we cannot prove that okay, this transaction has not been done, right? So that it's tampered, it can be tampered. Like if we keep a book of all the ledger, it can be tampered. So we are, what we are doing in blockchain, we are keeping this ledger on decentralized network, right? Getting all the connecting all the dots, decentralized, immutable, and uh, ledger, digital ledger. Cool. So we are keeping all the records decentralized and immutable. Keeping all the records that I have on this blockchain immutable, that nobody can hamper it, and it's decentralized. No single authority has the power to just do any changes in it, do any activity without my permission. I hope I have explained blockchain a bit of like very deeply. No bookish definitions, so called. So I'm trying to use the like real world examples more. So if we move ahead, let's get yeah, record keeping is the main thing that blockchain provides. It stores the records, all the records that will be stored on the ledger, right? So there's this technology. Now we give it a term as technology. Ancient men use this only to like to keep record of those things, right? If we see this image, right? So there was a pictorial representation of all the of they were trying to hunt a dog, or there were some male figures. They were like they were what the information they were having. They have put it onto some other other rock that is immutable. Nobody easily could change this rock, right? To change this rock, he might need some sharp tools, right? So this image is immutable. Nobody can change it, right? So it's this technology has been like using ancient men have been using it from quite a long time. Let's move ahead. Okay, let's talk about all favorite things that we have, right? The Bitcoin, the famous Bitcoin, how this thing is working. Okay, let's talk about what is a Bitcoin. Payments and exchanges without any secured third party, right? The main crux of blockchain that I was talking about, right? So peer-to-peer network, no third party in between. So blockchain or Bitcoin uses this uh, this feature of blockchain as an forte for this Bitcoin. Like no third party would be interfering between the transactions, right? So no use of banks and credit cards, no games. Like we see scams, a lot of bank scams and credit cards frauds. So no, nothing like that. So it has provide an alternative way for the finance as well. So like that's the main aim for the Bitcoin. Okay, it's not a physical coin. We all know this is just a coin, like digital. If I talk precise, it's a digital address, right? So nothing more than that. Its communication type is peer to peer. Peer to peer. We were talking about this peer to peer network, right? So nobody, like even the Bitcoin cannot, or the organization or someone from a member of the Bitcoin team cannot stop me from doing any transaction because I'm doing the transaction peer to peer, right? If I want to send, say, a point one Bitcoin to Sanket, nobody can stop me from doing that. Yep. Okay. So why cannot we have a transaction via email, like a photo? Huh. So like double spend problem we have solved in this like the Bitcoin basically solves the double spends problem. Like if my transaction has been revoked, I have I have sent say, X amount to someone, and it has like the other person has not received it yet. and I again sent it. Okay, just that guy called me and, hey, Chirag, I have not received the X amount that you are going to send. So said, okay, I'm gonna recheck my transaction and I'm sending you again, right? So if I do that, that thing is skipped, like that thing is solved in this Bitcoin, right? So you can have the copy of that like its original one, right? So original transaction would be stored on the blockchain. Nobody can say or like question that transaction. That transaction is not completely okay. So let's talk about some misconceptions. Okay, so has been a lot of uh, FUD around this, how blockchain is doing and how these fancy things are they really gonna stay or not, right? Many of us have heard some misconceptions over it. So blockchain is Bitcoin, ha ha ha. It's just an application of blockchain, not the whole blockchain. Blockchain is, I've told you, immutable, decentralized ledger. Three things. Just keep these three terminologies in mind and just try to explain these terminologies to any guy. He will know how the blockchain works, like what exactly the blockchain works, right? The blockchain is a better database, or no, it's not better, but it's more secure database, right? So we are using a lot of cryptographic functions, cryptographic hashes to communicate with each other. Each block is communicating with each other, so it's most secured. But the other drawback is we have to keep the multiple copies because it's decentralized, right? Decentralized means we have to keep multiple copies of that database to every system. So no, there's no a single point of failure, right? So if my one database or when one node basically goes down, so there are other nodes in the network that are up and will be providing all the informations that I need in that network, right? Blockchains are distributed bitcoins. So these are some we have heard these we heard these terms from a guy who's not very much uh, like he has not read that thing, that topic in deep, right? So he has just heard some, uh, read some articles over that internet and just he's making some assumptions. Has been hacked. Oh my God. This misconception is, I don't think it's, uh, blockchain has the only thing blockchain is selling you is security, right? So okay, let's have one example. Like when the internet came into existence, okay, so it provides a very good connection between, like we could talk with any remote person. We could be socialize other persons, and the communication. The real aim or the real target of internet was to build a world network that can communicate with each other easily, right? It can share their data with each other, right? So internet has done it very well. The only thing that internet has compromised is security, right? Internet has compromised security on that aspect. Like it has built a very good network, it has built all the speedy things, like we can do like streaming also. So a lot of pros of internet has been there, but the only thing that has left untouched by the internet was security. So we are not very much secure about this digital identity that we have on internet, right? So the if you if I let you know some, there has been a lot of projects that has been working on digital identity, right, in blockchain industry only. So what they're trying to make a digital identity of you on internet, right? Like you own that thing on internet. So that is one feature that internet has to improve or has to be improved in that, right? Bitcoin is anonymous. No, it's not anonymous. It's not completely anonymous. It's yeah, I have written this, it's pseudo anonymous. What if uh, I have sent say one Bitcoin to Sanket, right? So now you know my identity. Like Chirag Rajput is my identity. But if I replace this Chirag Rajput to a cryptographic hash, it's a 65 65 numbers combination of digits and alphabets just, right? So nobody could know who this XYZ123 are, and he has transferred one Bitcoin to Sanket, that is XYZ12344. So it's anonymous, but it's pseudo anonymous, right? So I'm not revealing my identity over the network, but that hash or that wallet, the private key of mine has been, the public key of mine has been available to all, right? So Bitcoin is used for launder money, guys. That's not true. Trust me. Bitcoin is a pyramid scheme. Oh my god. So these misconceptions, you might have heard, or you need not to believe any of those. That's the only point. It can be turned off. No, it cannot be turned off. I have just told you it's a decentralized network, right? So if one node goes down, another nodes in the network are still up, right? So uh, it cannot be turned down just like that. Okay, you have to buy a full Bitcoin. No, you cannot. You can buy it in fractions, in any number of fractions, right? Okay, let's move ahead. What determines Bitcoin prices? We are in this. We are talking about Bitcoins a lot, and we are not talking about its price. How this price goes up and then it goes down. So how this thing is working? So I've marked it bold. In the price of Bitcoin is determined by the free market, right? So no one is there to decide. Okay, I'm gonna sell this Bitcoin for this much amount, right? So this is a free market. It's a demand and supply ratio, right? We have a memory pool in the Bitcoin, right? What that let me like simplify it for you. So it's a bowl where all the Bitcoins are there, right? And some of them have been transferred to, so like they have allocated, they have some ownership. Some of the Bitcoins have ownership, but some Bitcoins are still in the mempool, right? So they have not been mined yet. So the only thing is, if there is a high demand of Bitcoin, right? Everybody wants to go and invest in Bitcoin. So definitely the price would be rising in this tech, right? So that's a simple demand supply ratio. Nothing fancy in that. So yeah, I have created, you can have a look on how Bitcoin has grown exponentially. So nowadays, 10,000 Bitcoins, which were worth $25 on May 2010, like 13 years back, right? So 13 years back, it was just $25, $25 for the 10,000, but now its worth is $35 million, right? So that you can know, see how the demand for this Bitcoin has increased exponentially in the last decade, in the last uh, few decades or few years, right? Let's move it. Like, yeah, this is my favorite diagram. I don't know why, but I really, this diagram looks very cool, and it's very simple to uh, for me to explain you how that blockchain is working. Right. So let's see this. We all can see this is a block, a train, a block in the train. It the this block in the train have some goods in it, right? Obviously, it will carry some goods. It's meant to carry some goods, right? So we might see some goods being transferred from one place to another, and some of us might have seen oils being transferred. Like in India, we have seen a lot of things, these trains. So we were transferring oil from one place to another place. So these containers contain oil, and sometimes these containers contain a lot of say metallic things like ores, we can say, and other things as well. So different kind of trains are carrying different loads, right? So metaphorically, I'm trying to say different blockchains have different blocks, and they carry different data into it, right? So it's not that if a Bitcoin block, if we see a Bitcoin block, it might not be same as that of Ethereum block. Okay, so Ethereum block might contain some different data items, that is necessary for Ethereum, right? So, but Bitcoin block is somewhat like it will contain the data that is needed by the Bitcoin ecosystem. Cool, pretty cool is that, and we have locks. These small dashes in between the two blocks is called locks, and in this blockchain industry we called it hash, hash functions. So, okay, let's talk about hash. What is this? I've used this thing, using this term a lot. Hash functions, cryptography, hash functions. It's nothing fancy, nothing fancy. So what is this function is? It's an irreversible process, creating an hash, right? So if I have this book, right? I've put this book into an hash algorithm, and it will provide me an hash, right? It will provide me uh, a different. So hash means we are provide like, okay, let's see. Come here. Consider this as a hash function. My face is a hash function, and I'm providing input from this side, right? This side on my left. So I can provide anything into my hash function. It could be an image, it could be a text, anything, any size of text. No worries on that. So it will accept all kinds of input, but it will only provide, like, the output would be a fixed amount of letters, right? Letters, or yeah, fixed amount of the length of that output would be constant. If I put here Sanket, so the output would be something. Let's take an example of 64 bits. 64 bits output would be there, right? If I put here, okay, Chirag is a blockchain developer, still the output is gonna be 64 bit. Cool, pretty cool. Like, you got the idea what uh, a hash function do. It accepts the input and it provides the output in the same format, right? So yeah, like, this is the perfect example. I have put the image as well. So if I put the Rhino, and this is my cryptographic hash function. So like, and I would like to, anybody of you know, like, which cryptographic hash functions Bitcoin use? A quick question, just if you have any idea, if you have heard anything about this, which cryptographic hash function do Bitcoin use? Do we have anyone with us? Anyone? No one? Okay. Pretty cool, no worries. So it uses SH8256, right? So this is the name of that cryptographic hash function that Bitcoin uses. Okay. So like, you got the idea how cryptographic hash functions work. If I put the word Rhino, I will get a combination of digits and alphabets, and right. So this the output may be hexadecimal, not on the decimal, right? But it's look, don't go too technical into this. You just know how that function is working. That's pretty good to go. Good. Yeah, let's talk about more about how blocks in this blockchain infrastructure are doing, right? Okay, so this is my block. This gray material is my block, right? And I have got something like, okay, this three dots. Guys, can you see my arrow? Arrow. I think my arrow is visible. So this three blue colored dots is something I'm referring to as Genesis block. Genesis block means the engine of that train. The first block of this blockchain is called Genesis block. Cool, pretty cool. So that engine, like where this train started, right? So that is called Genesis block. So it will be coming from the Genesis block. And okay, let's assume that this is the first block we have in the blockchain. So it will take the hash of the previous block and store all the transactions in purple. I hope you guys are able to see. So a block can have multiple transactions stored into it, right? Just like this. A train can have a lot of uh, ores, or we can say a lot of raw material into it. Good. So just like that. A block can have a multiple transactions stored into this, right? Yeah, this is the diagram I was looking for. Pretty cool. So this is consider this. Okay, this is a block number this, and it has storing all the transactions, right? And this has increased the number. So this, like we have 2 3 3 4 4, but for digest for the block is 2 3 3 4 5. This is nonce. Nonce is number used once. Number used once is just that to keep the record, or like to keep the serials of the blocks. Like nobody, it should not be like uh, after this there are three blocks here. No, so there won't be a three block after this. Multi-chaining is not allowed. There will always be a single chain. Pretty cool is that. So nonce is a parameter that keeps check on this. Okay, no multiple blocks are added into the chain. Right. So we are using what we are using. What this red arrow shows is we are using the nonce and the hash of previous block to get like, we are using the hash of previous block into the new block as well. Right. So if I have roll number 2 in front of me, so what I will be doing, I will be taking a roll number of that guy. Okay, hey, listen, what's a roll number? So he will tell me I have a roll number 2. Okay, so if I'm standing behind that guy, so I will just add 1 onto that, right? Pretty cool. So now I know my roll number is 3. That's the same case with these blocks in the blockchain. Getting my point? Getting my point? So yeah, so this is the exact uh, image how the all the things in the blockchain work. Let's talk about this. So previous block hash we have talked about. Every block of that blockchain will generate a hash, right? For all the transactions that we have. So it will generate a hash for this thing. So we all know how we can put any amount of any length of input into this hash function, right? So pretty cool is that we will get the hash block of the previous block and the transaction. So now for this block, this will create a new hash. New hash will consist of what? Block previous block hash plus all the transactions in this block. Pretty cool. I hope you're getting what I'm trying to explain. Like and this is very uh, like we are deep diving into blockchain. Even like if you go into search some fancy things, you won't be getting this exact there's a juice of blockchain, how infrastructurally blockchain is built, right? So the how the new hash functions are generated. It uses hash of previous block and all the transactions. We could see this here, right? Transactions in a Merkle tree. Merkle tree is just a data structure which is used to store all the transactions, right? So this is we have all the transactions. I'm pointing to my like the second block, right? B2K we have 4 Bitcoin transactions, F2A we have 10 Bitcoins, and these all transactions will be put into a hash function, and it will generate a new hash, right? So this new hash will be used in the next block. Why are we doing this? Why are we uh, like taking care of this previous hash? This is because to ensure the security. Okay, if let's say in my second block, I'm talking about in my second block, if I want to change transaction number 2 F to A 10 Bitcoin, if I want to manipulate that. So if I want hey, just can we do something and change F to A 12 Bitcoin? Say I'm a bit greedy person, so let's assume I am full owner of account A. So I want 20 to 12 Bitcoins in my account. So I want to do that, right? So okay, because and suppose that I'm a genius and I have a super computational powers with me and I have a super cool mind, right? So anyhow, I'm able to do that. But this manipulation, this change in the transaction will create a new hash. With me, everyone, with me. You agreeing with it, right? Any change in the input will generate a new hash. Any small change, any, like if it's uh, 0.01 or anything change in the input will create a new hash, right? So the new hash generated here will not be matched to the block of previous hash, right? So next we would know, okay, at this block, someone has manipulated our transaction, right? If I don't want to go through the whole chain, like where is the point or where is that thing uh, where the things have gone wrong. I just block for every check. There is a check on this every block. So if this block has all the things correctly and have not manipulated any transactions, then this and the next block would be having the same uh, hash with each other, right? So if I change something in this block, so this hash and the newly generated hash would not match. You're getting my point? So this new hash and the previously generated hash would not match, and we would know, okay, after this block, the data is corrupted. We could go to that block and see like what uh, things we could do over that. Yeah, proof of work. So Bitcoin works on, this is a consensus mechanism, right? So what is consensus mechanism? Let me tell you. Yeah, like this is I was talking about a sample of SHA 256 hash. Bitcoin uses SHA 256 hash. So this is like 1 2 AF like that. Good, pretty cool is that. Okay, this is talking about yeah. Mm, yeah, this let's discuss this one. This is pretty important. Okay, how uh, Bitcoin mining is done, right? Let me like explain it very in a brief thing. Like you will get an idea of how this mining is working. It requires a lot of computational powers and a lot of Bitcoins on the state. Let's say it requires a lot of, it's a long process of mining a new Bitcoin into that, right? So that how that mining process works, it for every new block it will provide a mathematical puzzle to the miner, right? So it's let's see, if I am the miner, if I want to mine Bitcoin, so I came into the network of Bitcoin and say, okay, I want to serve as a mining node, right? I will very sorry guys, so I will mine new Bitcoins onto your network. So what will I will be getting? Okay, let's solve this mathematical puzzle that we have given you. And if you're able to solve it to the very first, and all the uh, other nodes are trying to solve that the same problem that they will be getting. So how can I solve this problem fast? If I have more computational power, if I have supercomputers, if I have something very strong CPUs, right? So with that, if I solve that problem, Bitcoin problem first, I would be getting, okay, like say this node has the most computational power or the very strong on the network side, right? So let's give him a chance to mine the next block, right? So I will be validating all the transactions, and I will announce, okay, hey, we have found a winner, right? So the winning node message all the other nodes, I found a winner, right? The other, like when I will verify this, okay, this new transaction that is coming to me, it's done, it's secured, we can mine this into our blockchain, right? So I need 51% of the other nodes other than me to validate with me. I cannot just simply go and validate the node, right? It's not like I'm not having the power, that power with me. Even I have win, if I even if I'm the miner of that block, then also I'm not having the power to mine uh, that block onto the Bitcoin, right? So I need 51% of votes of the other nodes, right? I have solved this thing. I have verified all those things, but I need 51% votes from the other nodes as well. Okay, that I also think that this transaction is pretty good. I think yes, it's we can add this to our network, right? And yeah, we get 6.7 bitcoins for every for every correct miner, for every mining that correct block, right? So when a node will get that reward. So for this reward, we try to solve all those things. For the whole story was to solve this problem, to build those computational powers for this 6.7 bitcoins. It might be fluctuating, sometimes it's like 6.5 or 7, but it's a range is in this one. Yeah. So we were talking about blockchain as a platform, right? So how this blockchain as a platform would be working? And when we have Bitcoin, but where is the need of Ethereum, right? We had something to store all the transactions, right? So what is the need of Ethereum into this? So the main thing that Ethereum brings into this blockchain ecosystem is smart contracts. Smart contracts are what? They are logics. They are logic building programs, logic building software, right? So we now Ethereum provides. Okay, so Bitcoin says, okay, you can store all the transactions onto me, right? I am secured, I am immutable, I am decentralized, and you can store. I can store all the transactions that you are doing, right? This is the Bitcoin's resume here, right? And then comes Ethereum, right? So what Ethereum says, I can do all the things that Bitcoin can do, but also I can add logic. I can add logic to that. If I want to say, if you remember, if you have joined from the very first, so I've given you an example of if there was an I need to give say $500 to that organization, right? So if I put that thing onto my blockchain, on my smart contract network, on my platform, that if I get these services, if I receive these products that I have bought from this organization, automatically $500 million would be deducted from my account. So that's the power of this Ethereum node, that a smart contract code. It can We can add logic to our implementations, to our transactions. If I want to hit a transaction when a certain condition is met, right? I have received the product from that XYZ company and I want to transact. So I can do that. So the organization will also have a trust not on me, but on this smart contract. Once, right? So the organization will know that once the product will be delivered, I will get my payment. Nobody can stop this smart contract from sending $500 million to my account, right? So that's a thing that blockchain is really using. Like we have multiple organizations that are using this blockchains and this blockchain as a platform, right? So let's talk about some smart contracts. Smart contracts are, I've told you. So smart contracts, what are smart contracts? They are logics, and we used to write logic on Ethereum. Right? Ethereum is the chain that we can write smart contracts onto that. We'll be having a lot of discussions on smart contracts volatilities in the next coming future classes or webinars we'll be holding. But for the today's, I'm trying to stick to the the topics that we have, like it's blockchain, basically blockchain and Bitcoin fundamentals, right? So I'm trying to put some boundaries onto that, like. So yeah, some for Ethereum we have tokens, right? So Ethereum token is the ethers, which we used to say, and cryptocurrencies, NEO, smart. So these all these ecosystem, all these organizations have some tokens to that. So Ethereum provides that functionality. Cool. So okay, yeah, we would discuss one important topic, that is types of wallets. Where would I storing that? Okay, I have bought one Bitcoin, I have bought n number of Ethereum. Where would I be keeping it? Right? That's the thing that could come to your mind. So there are two types of wallets basically. That's cold wallet and hot wallet. Cool. Cold wallets, simple hardware wallets that you can touch, right? Just like my leather wallet that we used to keep in our in our pocket, right? Or hardware wallet. We nowadays there uh, is a kind of pen drive like thing that can store your bitcoins, and has a secret key inside it, right? So might look like a pen drive, and it's a hardware wallet that you can store your cryptocurrencies into, right? So that thing is working. And hot wallets are cloud wallets like MetaMask. If you have heard this name, like MetaMask, and multi-signature wallets. Multi-signature wallet is uh, consider it as a joint account, right? So I need, if I want to do some transactions from this wallet, I need to get approved from 2 out of 5 or 2 out of 4 members of that owner of that wallet. So let's say there is a wallet, and like consider this is a wallet, and it has 5 owners. One, two, three, four, five. 5 owners, one wallet, right? So it's perfect example for organizations. Like if you want to, like there's a, what we can say, if the organization is trying to make a new deal or want to crack any new deal or transaction, so there will be a 5 owners of this wallet, company's wallet. So we need everyone's permission, right? So if 3 out of 5 have given the permission, okay, I want this deal. So yeah, this deal would be confirmed, and this wallet will send that amount to the other person, right? So this is how multi-signature wallet works. So it has 5 owners, one wallet, right? I think, yeah, so there are some pros and cons basically. So let's see what we have. Hot wallets pros. So efficient access of your digital currencies. Pretty cool. You can just, what's a one-click thing. User-friendly application, streamlined for the payment interfaces. Very good. Cybercrime and fraud. Yeah. So these wallets are somewhat prone to that hacking, or because it's available on the internet, and wherever internet is involved, security is always compromised. This has been my statement from the last, like I've started explaining these things from this statement only. So when the internet came, the security got compromised, and blockchain came into role to improve the security, right? So there is a scope of some frauds or some cyber crimes on hot wallets, right? Your funds may be permanently lost. We could say if you lost your keys, right? So your wallet has some keys, right? Public and private keys. And if you lost that private key, so you might have lost all the funds. But we have built some recovery systems as well. But yeah, there are chances if you lost your private key for that uh, wallet, right? Yeah, I think that's it for today. I think that's it, and I would like to any open the house of questions. Anything you want to discuss, and any I hope that's the thing for today, and I hope we'll be connecting again very soon to discuss another topic and another things with you all. Yeah.
Thank you, Chirag. Thank you for all your time, and thank you, all of you, for being a part of this session. Now, guys, I'll go ahead and open the house for questions. So if anybody has any question, feel free to go ahead and type it in the chat, or I'm even giving you the option to unmute yourself. So if you want to ask something, you can go ahead and ask the question also. Okan, by the way, has a question which I think he directly sent to me. So let me go ahead and share it with Chirag also. So Chirag, I have a question from Okan. You can take that. You see that in the chat?
Yeah, I would say that. I would like to improve my knowledge on blockchain and cryptocurrencies. Is there a resource that you can share with us which is based on first 100% legitimate information? Okay, there are a lot of fake
Okay,
scams.
just to add to that, we do offer courses. Just to let you know, Okan, we have courses that we run in blockchain, which is a certification program which can go ahead and get you equipped. However, if you want to really know whether blockchain is the right stuff for you or not, which is the case with a lot of people. So Chirag, is there any free material that you can recommend to people just to check whether blockchain is the right choice for them or not?
Yeah. So pretty much, who's this? So Okan, I would like to know your profile. Like, are you seeing this on a developer profile, or are you seeing into the management, or what are your targets for using this blockchain? So
Uh,
according to that, I will
I
be
would
able
like
to.
to gain information on this for personal usage. Sometimes I'm thinking to gain knowledge about crypto mining as well, rather than trading them. I am very new for the topic as well. And every time I'm trying to gain knowledge, Google gives me lots of websites, and I am stuck between all the information, and I cannot decide which one is correct or not correct. Is it scam? Am I going to trade something and lost money? Those kind of things. And one more thing, one of my friends are trading cryptocurrencies every day under a company, and they are working remotely. And sometimes I would like to have a remote job rather than sitting in an office for 8 hours per day. That's why I joined this panel today, and I just gain knowledge about this future technology. And thank you for helping us, by the way.
Thank you. That's so sweet. Yeah, I got your point. I got your point. That's exactly the case with any newbie that's trying to enter this blockchain, because everyone is trying to share their views on that. Nobody is getting to the depth of the blockchain, right? So pretty cool resources for trading and mining. I would suggest there's a YouTube channel called DAP University, DAAP. I'm gonna just type it here. So DAP.
Can you type it, please?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
I
we're
don't
doing
have
that.
headphones right
Yes,
now.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
Chirag is typing that as we speak right now.
So yeah, so this is the channel that provides, I think, the most authenticate and the most pointed things on blockchain, like what are hot in topics and what are the things that's coming next, or the future things, right? So you're able to see my message, right? Okan, you're able to
Hello.
see.
Um, I am checking the chat stuff, but it doesn't appear.
I think I have sent it to.
Yep, you sent it to me. I'm typing it in. So
Okay.
what Chirag
Top
was
University.
actually referring to is DAP University. So that's more or less something that you can see on the internet.
Yeah.
They do have some very interesting videos when we go ahead and talk about especially blockchain. However, Okan, the problem that you're stating that happens with a lot of people. Chirag has seen it as an instructor. We have seen it. In the world that we live today, knowledge is absolutely free. You don't need to pay even a single penny to get knowledge. However, it's not structured. So getting things in a structured way, what to study first, how do you go ahead and move forward, what projects to go ahead and help you with. Plus, it's very important that you need a mentor who can go ahead and help you sail through. That's again a very important point. And that is the reason why we have come up with the course that we also offer. Okay, we have a 6 month cybersecurity, a 6 months blockchain program also that we go ahead and offer. In addition to others like data science, cybersecurity, there are plenty. But the blockchain one that we have, it's none like any other. So I can absolutely assure you that if you're planning to go ahead and kickstart your career in blockchain, then I can definitely go ahead and arrange a call for you, and one of my counselors can get in touch with you, understand your background, where you come from, and probably recommend you the right solution to that. So that's something that we can do. Thank you for your question, by the way.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Okan. And if I may ask, Okan, where are you from? Which country are you from?
I am originally from Cyprus, but I live in Ireland. I settled there 2 years ago. Yeah.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you.
Thank
you for your
you.
time. Jeevan has another question. Can a creator of a certain blockchain alter or tamper? or no power over it once created? I'm just going to type it to you also once again,
Yeah,
Chirag, so that you can
I
see
could
it.
see. I could see this. I could see this.
Yeah, so this is another question.
Okay.
So the owner who created that blockchain, the god that exists, for that specific blockchain, what can they do?
Okay, that's a pretty interesting question. So if I build my own blockchain, right? So if I build the protocols means all the consensus algorithm. If I have built it uh, by myself, and if I made it public, if I made those cryptocurrencies available on exchanges, so I have no power over it, right? I can just initiate, right? Okay, my cryptocurrencies would be having uh, like the amount of cryptocurrencies I can define at the first, right? So the mempool, just like we all know, so I think there are 1 million bitcoins that can be mined, right? So that's the initial thing. After that, so if I am the even if I'm the owner, I cannot tamper, I cannot alter anything into my network also, right? I have built everything. That is that the I only have the power that I know everything about this blockchain, right? So I have this power. I know how the consensus algorithm would work. I know all the ins and outs of this blockchain, but no, I cannot tamper, alter, change any blocks, or put any control over the transactions onto my blockchain. Nothing, nothing.
All right, awesome. Does anybody has any more questions?
Yeah, I think I can see Ashish. So hi, he says, hi, I'm into project management. What would be my learning path, as I'm into management positions, not into executives or technical positions? Okay, so there is a lot of requirement for blockchain project managers as well. So they just need number one thing, they need a vision for the vision they need to understand blockchain infrastructure. Don't go on to that coding side, proper development side, but you need to understand its core architecture and infrastructure, right? That I have told in this session also, like how consensus algorithm would be working, and how so you need to find a use case. You need to find something. Okay, how I could implement blockchain into these solutions, right? So that thing I would suggest. So go into that infrastructure, protocols, and consensus side of the blockchain. Explore that.
All right, awesome. So Jeevan has another question. It's a follow-up question that if that's the case, that the owner cannot go ahead and tamper, as we discussed, which may be useful right now, which may be harmful in the future. So, the drawbacks, the disadvantages, how can it go ahead and harm in the future? That's the question. Chirag, what would you like to say about that?
Okay, so harmful in future in how in what aspects I trying to point that I want to know like exactly what are you thinking actually. So maybe useful right now, but harmful in future, how it can be harmful. Like I have built a decentralized and an architecture that's basically working on the decentralized network. That is it.
Well, if Jeevan wants to speak, he can.
Yeah, yeah.
So just to summarize on that, Jeevan, harmful basically, every new technology when it comes, there are always going to be, real-time challenges, problems that do come across. Same was the case when, cybersecurity actually started to get into picture when we started building firewalls. There were drawbacks, there were disadvantages that came with software development. Also, there were plenty. But the
Yeah.
point is, as soon as you reach those points, you have to be you'll have to go ahead and take it case by case. So if something generic happens repeatedly, we go ahead and build a solution for that. If there's a business problem that comes into the picture, then algorithms can be built accordingly. So solution more or less will depend on the kind of challenges that we face. There will be a lot of people who will be going ahead and doing a lot of hit and trial in order to go ahead and do that. But as we already have established, blockchain is pretty young in our universe. So it's still learning, it's still growing, it's still understanding how things are. And probably by 2024, 2025, you'll see the wings coming out, and obviously there will be challenges, but again, we will be more than equipped to go ahead and handle that, as our technology will also grow old.
Yeah, definitely. And I would like to add one more point. Like every technology has its pros and cons. Like nobody has come up with exact, absolute 100% use case, right? So we came into internet. We have introduced internet, and I have told you that it compromises of security, right? So it's the same thing as with like blockchain as well. So as and when we face new challenges, new security challenges, any problem, we developers here like probably, so we'll be finding a new solution to that as well, right? That's how that's how improvement works. No? So right now we are having this much of infrastructure, this much of resources, basically. If something comes up in future and try to disrupt this technology, we will be building something new. We will be building another thing for this solution, for find this solution. Yeah.
All right, awesome. Anybody else has any more question, guys? Or we will go ahead and call it a day.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, I don't see any more questions coming up. So thank you once again, guys, for being a part of this session. Thank you, Chirag, for this interesting view of blockchain. And thank you, all of you, for being a part of it and making it a huge success. So we will go ahead and return again with another webinar, another masterclass. Do remember to follow us on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and all the social media platform. And yes, there will be a lot of interesting webinars that we will be sharing. Also, just to add to that, for those of you who actually want to go ahead and learn blockchain, we have a dedicated course that is starting this month. So if any one of you is interested in learning blockchain through us, feel free to go ahead and send us an email, or you can go ahead and connect with us on the phone number mentioned on our website and also on your screen right now. So on that note, this is me, Sanket, signing off, and I wish you all a wonderful day. Bye-bye. Take care. Thank you.
Thank you, Sanket. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.